Hi guys. So the light's kind of crap because it's almost 5 o'clock and it's like way overcast and rainy. Anyway, so I'll close my door a little bit more. There we go. Less noise from outside. Sorry. So I went and met with my friend, and I talked to her and the other gal, and they said it's totally okay to talk about the ADD side and use their for instances, no names, no numbers, none of their figures, none of their identifying features. And since I'm pretty sure most of you guys are not from our neighborhoods here in Oregon, I think that we will be okay. And they both like the idea of there being more resources for the ADD brains, of how to do things that we feel like we should be able to do. The main thing that I keep running up against with them is that we're adults. Like, we're all of us are over 35. I think I might be the youngest one. But we struggle with, it's like a, what do you call it? Like an insecurity, when a self-conscious insecurity, that we feel like we should be able to do these things. Like, it should be so simple to clean your house, and it should be so simple to just write numbers down on paper, and it should be so simple to save money for a thing, and it should be so simple. Like, we all are like exceptionally, surprisingly smart. Like, maybe not like intellectually book smart or whatever, but like, you explain something and then we ask a couple questions and then we extrapolate a little bit more information, and like, we're capable of understanding really complex things. But a couple things happen. First, we create our own roadblocks because we've failed before. And, oh, last time it didn't work. Last time I couldn't do it. Like, I've never been able to blah, blah, blah. Insert the thing that we feel like we forever fail at. Dieting, exercising, quitting chewing our nails. Like, these things that should be so simple are really, they're not always so simple. But anyway, so number one is our own roadblock that we create because we've failed before. And so the best way to not fail is to never try. And I see this in myself, and I haven't really discussed it with these two ladies, but I feel like it's kind of a common theme in ADD people, especially people who went undiagnosed. I just found out that I mean, they call me a baby because I've known for less than a year that I have ADHD. So I've gone through my life just not really trying, it's not about not performing, it's about not even trying, because if I try and it gets too hard, or I try and something else happens in life and I can't concentrate on the thing anymore, the thing that I'm trying, or I try and I just don't do as good as I thought that I coulda, shoulda, woulda been able to do, then I feel like a failure, so I just don't try. So I haven't really talked to these ladies about that aspect yet, but that seems to be one of the big hurdles for ADD people and getting started on something that we know that we should be able to do. And there's a lot of guilt that we feel bad that our brains don't work up to par with where we should be. And I don't know, it's hard to describe, but a lot of it comes in that we know we can and we know we should, but getting settled down and concentrating to come up with the details that we need to make the plan, to follow through with the stuff that we want to do. It's a lot of steps, and our brains see all the details, not necessarily the steps. And we frequently have problems pulling the details down into steps that are manageable. Like, you give us an elephant and we'll try and, like, maybe we'll eat a quarter of it, like aim for eating a leg instead of just one bite at a time, and the first section being the leg. So, I don't know, it's hard to describe. And then you add in that we overly complicate things frequently as well, that we see all the details and we feel like we need to, that's a bright shiny light back there, we feel like we need to account for all those details, and then we get bogged down in too much data and not enough action. That's the analysis paralysis side of things. We make things overly complicated because we feel like we should be able to do all of the things. Anyway, so there's that aspect as well. And then our brains compartmentalize things differently. Like, I don't know, I've never been able to save up $50 for this thing and $80 for this other thing and, you know, $200 for this other thing, and then look at my bank account and say, so I have this $300 of money here, and this is already what it's supposed to go to. Part of that is I've never budgeted. Like, I was not trained how to budget. My family, I don't know if they even saved money for things in particular. Like, I don't know how that worked with them. But I'm doing it, and I'm learning how to do it, and it'll be helpful working with the other ADD gals, ADHD gals, to see. I think they have like the same problem to compartmentalize in your head. It's like doing long arithmetic in your head. Like, it's so easy to miss a step and not carry a 1 or a 5, and how big of a problem that can make in the long run. So we really need to make it more visual, like a solid, written down, chiseled in the stone markers of where our money's designated to go. But then again, we run into collecting too much data, making things overly complicated. It never worked before, so why would it work now? So you sit down and you kind of like write down a plan, sort of, but your heart and soul's not really in that plan. So like, oh, I've got $200 for this and $300 for that. Okay, so now we've all accounted for all the money. And then when something big and squirrel and this will be fun and exciting, going and hanging out with our friends, we'll be like, oh, I can pay this money back without any regard for where our income's going to come from, how much extra we'll have every time that we do get income, how long will it take us to pay back this thing. And when is that thing needed to be paid for that we've been saving money up for X number of months or years or whatever to buy? So, yeah, prime example would be things like tires. You know that your car is due for tires and you saved up all the money for the tires. So you have money set aside, $300, $400. In my case for studs, it's like $600 for studs, $660. So I've got $500 sitting in my bank account. Like, I could go on a trip. I know that I mean, for me, the studs are important and it's only 2 months. Like, I can handle 2 months out. But to try and save money over a longer period of time, kind of like keeping up with homework for college where you've got 12 weeks to do all the homework and the projects and things. Especially computer-based online learning stuff. So hard because, oh, well, we still have 12 months. Oh, well, we still have 10 months. Oh, well, we still have a month. Oh my gosh, I have 12 weeks. 12, not months, weeks. 12 weeks worth of homework to do and it's all due next week. And so then we can actually sit down and concentrate on it. But it sucks and we don't want to have to be that way. But again and again, it's how we end up cycling. So that's another thing with the budgeting, is that we want to be able to plan ahead. We want to feel the comfort that other people feel in knowing that they have enough money saved up for the things that are going to come up. But being able to set up that plan, to have faith that we will keep track of where the money going in is supposed to go to, what it is allocated for. But we failed so many times. We almost had all the money saved up to do the thing, and then something else happened, some emergency craziness happened that we used that money, and then when it came time to do the thing that we had saved the money for, we didn't have money for it, and we forgot to pay ourselves back, and I don't know. So a big part of it all comes back to, we have failed so many times at things that we feel should be so much more simple in life. And I think that's one of the big issues with ADD and a lot of the things that people would set resolutions to do, like, you know, working out, eating right, budgeting, not overspending, saving up money this time for that thing that we know that will come up again, to quit chewing our nails, to quit smoking. For a lot of people, there's a lot of addiction in undiagnosed ADHD, which, whether it's smoking or drinking alcohol or smoking too much marijuana. I know a lot of people are going to say, but marijuana is not addictive. I believe that with ADHD especially, we are so prone to behavior addiction, dopamine chasing. Dopamine is not a feel-good hormone. It is it's like an if-then hormone. If you do this thing, then this really awesome thing is going to happen. It's like a promise that things will be awesome. And it's a promise that serotonin will take over but dopamine doesn't really do anything except for get you into a one-night stand or get you to put $20 that you don't have budgeted into a slot machine, or get you to buy that pint of ice cream that you know you don't really want. You're not going to feel good about yourself after you've eaten it, but it'll make you feel good while you're eating it. Like, so prone to behavior addiction, food addictions, some substance abuse, especially leaning towards the uppers, caffeine, methamphetamines, and things like that. But I'm still learning about that. I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to help diagnose anybody. If you're an addict and you want to stop, there are places that you can turn that can help you out. If you are a family member of somebody who's an addict, there are places that you can turn that can help you out and get you real information. I'm just speaking from things that I've noticed. I am not a doctor. I cannot diagnose or help anybody on this. The only reason why I'm really talking about this is that maybe you can get another level of understanding and gain a little bit of patience with your own brain. We have superpowers. ADHD has superpowers. We can notice details that nobody else even thought to see. We can pick up on a lot of nonverbal cues that other people don't even realize that they've done. And yeah, it's really interesting. It's really been really interesting talking to people one-on-one, not so much in the group, about the things that they've experienced in their life. But anyway, so if you're an ADHDer, there is a community of people here on YouTube that you can follow and draw inspiration from, and that you can learn how they cope with things. And 9 times out of 10, if you're only just now getting diagnosed in your adulthood, you have a lot of coping skills. Frequently it was just that something happened that you could no longer cope. Having a baby, having a house that you moved back in with family, or something like that, or school or graduate school or something, is more than likely what triggered you to even be ADHD noticeable, problematic. But you have the coping skills. You just kind of have to take a deep breath and go back to how it felt when things were under control, and then try and figure out what it was that you were doing to maintain that control back then, and how can you implement that in your life right now. It doesn't have to be substance consumption. It could just be as simple as taking the time to fold your socks the way that you used to fold your socks, or to organize your closet the way that you used to organize your closet. And that could be enough to trigger you to have a win, that will trigger you to have another win, that will trigger you to have another win. And then before you know it, those are really bright lights. Before you know it, you could be working your way back towards succeeding and not feeling like everything is falling apart around you. So, man, I don't know. It's been really interesting to get to talk to these people, and they both gave me the okay to talk about what it is that we struggle with. So, up and coming will be ADHD, probably conflicts with money and time, and what makes it so that we feel like we can't even start. All right. Bye, guys. I just got done grocery shopping, so there will be a grocery haul in a little bit too, but I gotta go potty and I gotta buy fuel. So, see you guys later. Bye.